they would call him extra. He is so extra. Well, for those who don't know, give us a little background on. Now, you pronounce it Crowley. Is that the actual pronunciation of his name?
Yeah, because it rhymes with unholy.
Oh, well, tell us about him for those. I'm sure there's plenty out there who have heard the name but don't exactly know who he is or what he did.
He's like one of those people that you had. There's podcasts completely dedicated to him that talk about him for hours and hours every week. He was just this guy who he was a popularizer of the cult. He was a mountaineer. He was one of the first people to climb K2, but he was really into ceremonial magic. And he has a more magical organization that's still very active. They have a lodge here in Cleveland, the Ordo Templar Orientis. And it's just people that kind of follow his teachings, follow his rituals, and explore like kind of his way of seeing inner space.
Mm-hmm.
Very,
well, he's perceived as being very dark and even satanic. Is that true?
Everything's dark now. That's the thing.
At the time,
spoken though, like a relativist.
Yeah. At the time, though, when he had been considered, dark. I mean, he did proclaim himself to be the evilest man in the world at one time.
I don't think it was him, actually. I think he sued the publisher that said that. He's like, it's actually wicked. He's like, really? Okay. I'm not that wicked. There's a lot worse.
He was like trying to, do magic to open up gateways to other worlds.
Mm-hmm.
And along with that comes the unknown, potentially the evil. So,
many, many years ago, I talked to Jimmy Page, and he bought his house at one time. He owned that home.
Yeah. It's you spoke with Jimmy Page?
That's cool. That was many years ago. We had him on the show. We mainly talked about rock and roll. At that time, it was a guitar show. And
he works at the Rock Hall, and I'm always like, hey, man, if Jimmy ever comes there, give us a call.
Yeah, but he bought the house, and he told me it was every bit as insane as you think it is, and more.
Oh, I bet. My friend Brian's been there. He said it was pretty weird.
Yeah.
So it's actually burned down.
Yes. Yeah. It's no longer standing. And but it's funny because Crowley and, of course, Churchill at one time were tight. A lot of people didn't know that. The V that Churchill gives off is not for victory. It's to ward off evil.
Yeah. And supposedly he's the one that came up with the idea that the Pentagon should be shaped that way because it would be a natural repellent to the swastika.
Interesting. I did not know that one. That's a new one on me.
Very interesting, I must say.
Stuff.
All right, we're already getting short on time. We told you that hour would go fast. So, a couple things. Have either of you, what are each of your positions on the paranormal? Have you ever had any paranormal experiences? And how is it that you are so well-versed in witchcraft and the occult, but claim that you are not affiliated or practitioners?
Jillian's had some experience.
I've definitely had some paranormal experiences.
Whip it on us.
I grew up in a house where you could hear someone walking up and down the stairs, and my bedroom was right at the top of the stairs. Nothing scary. You just hear people walking around.
Sure.
And then I've had some experiences, some weird Ouija board experiences, and ghost, encounters. I don't really see things, but I hear things, and I'll feel things, but I've never really seen anything per se. So yeah, I've been around it. I don't see a lot of it, but yeah. And my interest is, I was never raised anything in particular, religious wise. So I've often sought something, and in a lot of cases it's been, it's not Christianity because I tried that, and it never really interested me. It didn't really make much sense to me. So I studied Buddhism, and and I'm a nature lover, as I said before. So a lot of it goes hand in hand with Wicca, with witchcraft and paganism in general. So that's kind of my story. Stephen, though.
I guess I've had some pretty interesting paranormal experiences. Like the most basic one would have been at a spiritualist church where just this woman completely like floored me with knowing about how my grandmother had just passed away at the age of 99 with one leg, and a Swedish woman. That was very weird, and that's kind of took me from being a complete atheist to like one of those obnoxious ones that can't shut up about it to be like, hey, I don't know. And I mean, there's been some other things that have happened that I don't know. Not that comfortable talking about in public, and as far as what you're saying, I mean, there's, I know a lot about this because, I'm a general seeker type. I've always been exploring it. And, I claim I'm not a witch or any of that stuff, but I mean, sometimes you got to try the tools, not the ones here.
We do both in some ways dabble in magic, though. I'm into crystals. Steven's done some candle burning rituals and whatnot.
Yeah.
So, we dabble in it.
Sure, you got to give it a try. Like you say, you can't have a museum like that without, trying some practical magic, actually trying it.
What happened with the dabbling?
Our friend Tony and we have promised her that we would never use any of the artifacts and any of the rituals. And I actually made a promise to Buckland also, because these are really cultural heritage objects. Stuff that should be, this is stuff that goes back a real long way and really shouldn't be waved around because you wind up doing things like having a broken pipe that belonged to Aleister Crowley.
Yeah. And if you're waving around Aleister Crowley's wand and you don't know what you're doing, you're gonna get in trouble.
You're gonna get shot.
Let's just let that be.
Wow. So you don't want to give it to someone that has no knowledge of everything, hand them the wand and say, hey, start whipping it around a little bit. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
I'm kind of cynical, so that might be kind of funny, but no, I don't want to do that. Not really.
Well, that's probably good. That's probably a very good thing. We don't need to unleash evil on the world inadvertently.
I've known Stephen 20, God, how many years now? 6 years?
It's been a while.
26 years. And this whole time he's been interested in the occult and alternative belief systems, I guess you could say, and religion in general. Like he really studies and he knows more than anyone I know. He's an amateur. Well, I'd say you're an official scholar now that you're a curator. And
now, would you say that I've been prepping for this my whole life?
I feel like you've been prepping for this your whole life. Yes, yeah. I do.
Well, how did you end up in the position of curator, Stephen?
Well, there's two of us.
Yep.
And, there's Tony, our partner in all this down in Columbus. Hi, Tony. Hope you're listening. And then there's Jillian and I. So we're like, Jillian, you could be director. What do you think?
Yeah, because I don't have the curatorial knowledge, but I have a lot of maybe a little more of the business sense.
Yeah.
So that was a natural role for me, and Stephen has all the knowledge.
I am a curator of a very popular pop culture museum right down the street from here. So it's been an interesting ride. I guess.
It sounds like the makings of a sitcom. It'd be two guys, a girl, and a magic shop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've often thought that there should be a reality show about us, but
too
late now.
That would be
I wouldn't want anyone to actually know what goes on in our life. So,
yeah.
Well, tell us a little bit about your relationship with the Christmas Story Museum, because people sure know all about that. And incidentally, it was reputed to be haunted.
All right, so I work for a Christmas Story house during the day. I'm the curator of the museum there, and I also do a lot of the marketing stuff. It's a very fun gig. It's I feel very honored to work someplace where I see so many smiling faces all day long. It's really like Cleveland's little bit of like the Magic Kingdom, because I mean, who doesn't love that movie?
Everybody that I know loves it.
You know. And
it's funny.
So I work there, and like I said, I'm the curator of the museum. I take care of like Ralphie's BB gun and Randy's snowsuit, and a bunch of other cool stuff. And as far as the thing about being haunted, I had just kind of started working there when that crew came along, and I don't know what happened. I think pretty much nothing really happened. It was just kind of like maybe somebody was like, what are those little devices that you guys carry around?
Well, there's several little devices.
The ones that are like catching the electrical thing.
EMF detector.
So maybe one of those went off, but then who knows? Maybe
Isn't kind of every old house haunted in some way?
Well, I would, some would say yes, and at least the memories are anyway.
Yeah.
They're captured. How did they ascertain it's haunted just because of an EMF spike one time? That was
I think a crew came, and I think they were just like, it's haunted, but not really enough to do a whole show about.
One of those. Okay. Gotcha. Well, I did not know that the Christmas Story museum.
Well, this was the house. Actually, it was the museum across the street.
Okay. All right. Because I actually have our original Red Ryder BB gun. That's how much I love that show.
Nice. Excellent. Have you been to the museum?
I have never gone to the museum yet. I would like to get there one day and take a look at it and stuff like that.
Even give you a personal tour.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Love to get there. Love to take a walk to the Buckland as well, because it does sound very intriguing. A lot of fun.
We try to keep it light.
Yeah, well, it's a pretty dark subject matter, the Buckland. I mean, some would perceive it that way. So, you almost got to keep it pretty light and keep it educational. And that's something Eric had said, that he was kind of somewhat, pleasantly surprised at the education value of it as well.
Yeah, definitely. And we also, Buckland never took himself serious. He took himself seriously, of course. But he never took it too seriously where he couldn't have a joke about it. So
sure.
We feel like we carry on his tradition by being a little, cracking jokes every once in a while and letting people have a good time here.
Raymond Buckland told me a hilarious joke one time that had nothing to do with witchcraft, had nothing to do with anything, but it really resonated with me. He said, Stephen, I noticed that Denny's, they'll give you a free meal on your birthday. If you go to Denny's on your birthday, your life sucks. It's so funny, dude.
And true.
Real quick, we're running out of time. How do people get a hold of you? And we mentioned Cleveland, but we haven't really said Tremont. So tell people basically how to get a hold of you and just any other info you want them to have. It sounds like they better get over there before you shut down at the end of the year.
Yeah, they need to compare and contrast the museums. So they can find us easily at bucklandmuseum.org. We're on. I post a lot on our Instagram, Buckland Museum, and then of course our Facebook page, which I think may be Witch Museum. And so you just Google Buckland Museum, Witchcraft Museum, Cleveland, anything like that, you can find us. And we keep kind of odd hours, so check the website beforehand so you don't show up and then be mad that I'm not here.
Yeah, we do somewhat seasonal hours too because, right now a lot of people are coming in. The summer, a lot of people came in. And we also do appointments. We don't live too far from here, so if someone
I work right down the street.
Someone can't make it during our regular hours, we can usually work something out. So
very, very cool. Thanks, guys, for coming on. Boy, Eric, this has just blown right by, hasn't it?
It's amazing. Just boop, hours over.
It's done
there
again.
You go.
But again, if you want to get
here, how's that?
Yeah, we'll have more.
Exactly. If you want to go there yourself, visit the bucklandmuseum.org. It's all there, all the booking information. You can get your own tour going. You can do whatever you want to do. Thanks again to Jillian and Stephen for coming on the show. Until next time, guys, take care of each other, love each other. Hey, practice some magic. You just never know. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. Not unless you know what you're doing. And to know better, visit the Buckland. Okay, see you guys later. Thank you for listening to this edition of After Hours AM. And please remember to like us on Facebook and also follow us over on Twitter.